Arsenal are serious, deadly serious, and if you thought the Gunners were done after finally ending their long wait for a Premier League title, think again, because Mikel Arteta is already plotting the moves that could turn his champions into a dynasty. At the very top of that list sits one name, one target, one player who has the entire football world talking this summer, Morgan Rogers. 23 years old, English, electric, and reportedly ready to make one of the biggest moves in Premier League history. According to a report from The Guardian, Arsenal have identified the Aston Villa forward as their #1 transfer priority heading into this summer window. This isn't a casual inquiry. This isn't an agent running a story to drive up a contract offer. This is Arsenal making their intentions crystal clear. Mikel Arteta wants Morgan Rogers, and the Gunners are preparing to back that desire with a transfer fee that could reach a staggering £100 million. Let that number sink in. £100 million for a 23-year-old who only a couple of seasons ago was still proving himself in the Championship. That is how rapidly Morgan Rogers has risen, and that is how highly Arsenal value what he could bring to the Emirates Stadium. So what is it about Rogers that has Arsenal willing to break the bank? The answer lies in something every top manager covets but rarely finds: genuine versatility combined with genuine quality. Rogers is not a player who can nominally play in multiple positions but only truly performs in one. He is a player who causes problems wherever Arteta decides to deploy him. Out wide on either flank, tucked in as a number 10, pressing from the fronty, Rogers does all of it. And he does all of it at an elite level. For a manager as tactically obsessed as Mikel Arteta, signing Morgan Rogers is not just about adding another attacker. It is about unlocking an entirely new dimension of tactical flexibility that could make Arsenal even harder to play against next season and beyond. Rogers is currently away with England at the 2026 World Cup, which tells you everything about how far he has come. He featured in England's victory over Croatia and is pushing hard for a regular starting berth as the tournament progresses. While he remains fully focused on his international commitments for now, the transfer speculation refuses to die down, and crucially, multiple reports suggest that Rogers himself is open to the idea of joining Arsenal. That personal willingness from the player is enormous. In the modern game, you cannot force a player to move to a club he does not want to join, which means Arsenal already have a critical piece of the puzzle in place. The player wants it, the club wants it. The question is simply whether both sides can agree on a fee. Aston Villa, unsurprisingly, are not going to make this easy. Unai Emery's side have built something genuinely special at Villa Park, and Rogers has been central to that project. Despite his rapid rise and the swirling interest from Arsenal, Chelsea, and other major European clubs, Villa handed Rogers a 6-year contract back in November, a deal designed precisely to protect their asset and strengthen their negotiating position in any future transfer discussion. Villa will fight to keep him. That is certain, but £100 million has a way of changing conversations, and if Arsenal are genuinely prepared to go to that number, the dynamic shifts entirely. Very few clubs in world football turn down 9-figure offers, and Aston Villa, regardless of their ambitions, are still a club building towards the elite rather than one already comfortably established within it. The ripple effects of bringing Rogers to the Emirates are significant. His arrival would instantly reshape Arsenal's attacking hierarchy and force several other storylines into the open. Martin Odegaard, who endured a difficult personal campaign even as the team around him flourished, faces serious questions about his long-term position at the club. Could the arrival of Rogers accelerate a conversation about Odegaard's future? Possibly. And then there is the situation surrounding Gabriel Martinelli, with reports already emerging that Arsenal are prepared to listen to offers for the Brazilian winger. If Rogers comes in and provides genuine competition and quality across the front line, Martinelli's path to regular first-team football becomes significantly more complicated. These are big decisions, big conversations, and they all flow directly from Arsenal's determination to land Morgan Rogers. It would also be wrong to suggest that Rogers is operating in a vacuum when when it comes to Arsenal's summer business. The Gunners have been casting their net wide in this transfer window, and there are other deals already taking shape. Reports suggest that a move for Leicester City youngster Jeremy Monga is close to completion, with the talented teenager tipped to come in and strengthen the club's long-term options. Arsenal are also believed to be monitoring Lille midfielder Ayoub Bouadi, another young player generating significant excitement across European football. These are smart, forward-thinking pieces of business, but Rodgers remains the headline act, the transformative signing, the move that would send a genuine statement of intent across the Premier League. Chelsea's involvement cannot be ignored either. Rodgers has been linked with a move to Stamford Bridge, and the West London club have the financial firepower to push Arsenal hard in any bidding situation. Chelsea have spent lavishly in recent windows and will not shy away from entering a battle for a player of Rodgers' profile. That potential competition could actually force Arsenal's hand and push them to move sooner rather than later, before a bidding war develops that inflates the fee even further. The clock is ticking, and everyone at the Emirates knows it. What makes this story so compelling is how perfectly Rodgers fits the profile of a modern Arsenal player under Arteta. He is young, hungry, technically gifted, physically capable, and tactically intelligent. He is exactly the type of player who buys into high-pressing systems and who improves in high-performance environments. Arteta has a track record of taking good players and making them great. Look at what he has done with Bukayo Saka, with Declan Rice, with William Saliba. Morgan Rodgers, already operating at a very high level, could reach genuinely elite heights under that kind of coaching and within that kind of squad. The ceiling is extraordinary. Arsenal are champions of England. They have their title. Now they want to build something that lasts, a side capable of dominating English football for years rather than celebrating